Well, you're watching Focus on France 24. Well, tonight we zoom in on the West African state of Guinea, which for almost a week now has been entirely without a government. Military ruler General Moussa Dadis Camara fled last Thursday after an attempt on his life by one of his own former aides. He flew to Morocco for urgent medical attention and is, by all accounts, still there. Back in Guinea, though, his forces are running riot in a bid to find his would-be killer. Several people have been reportedly arrested and tortured, and gunfire can be heard in the streets daily. It's the latest bloody chapter in the state's violent history. So what next for Guinea? Well, joining me in the studio tonight, Francois Ndengwe, the founder of the African Advisory Board. Thanks for being with us. And in Guinea's capital, Conakry, tonight, journalist Rukmini Callimachi. Let's check in with Rukmini briefly. Rukmini, just tell us, what is it like in the capital, Conakry, tonight?
I think the capital remains tense. People are on edge because nobody knows what the status of Moussa Dadis Camara's health really is. The government has been trying very hard to say that he's fine, that he's okay, that he's conscious, that he's talking. But this is a person that has always loved the limelight. He used to lead 3 to 4 hour long press conferences. So the assumption is that if he was well, he would give a presser to let us know that.
All right, Rukmini, we'll be getting more from you in just a moment. But first, as Rukmini says, uncertainty reigns in Guinea tonight. Let's find out how the people there are adjusting to life without the general.
Guinea is still waiting for news of its junta leader. Captain Moussa Dadis Camara is recovering from gunshot wounds in a Moroccan hospital. The assassination attempt coming from a former aide last Thursday. According to some witnesses, it was the head of the Presidential Guard, Abubakar Diakité, seen here behind Camara, who shot the military leader during a heated argument. Guineans are now asking themselves whether Camara will return to his country.
The president is on a hospital bed and we don't know what the situation is with his health. We don't know when he'll come back, and the situation is making us afraid.
What happened isn't good for Guinea, because the country needs a leader to hold power. We don't need assassination attempts. We need a leader who will organize free and transparent presidential elections. That would be good for the country.
The military leaders in charge in Camara's absence say the attack on the junta leader was a coup attempt. It's the defense minister of the military government who's assumed power for the time being.
The internal situation in Guinea is totally under control. Concerning the state of health of the president, he has undergone a small surgical operation which went very well.
The junta leader is being described as unable to communicate. Some sources say doctors still don't know if he will make a full recovery. The power struggle within the military junta is pointing Guinea in an uncertain direction. In a country plagued by military coups, the leader's would-be assassin is still at large, reportedly with a group of heavily armed men.
How can a military guard so close to him, his own bodyguard, his right hand, do this to a president? It's very hard to understand. One does not do this without a reason. They are the ones who know why. We ordinary citizens don't know the purpose.
Guinea has been particularly unstable since a massacre of civilians on the 28th of September. The United Nations says the crackdown on a pro-democracy march killed 150 people. As a result, the country and its military rulers face an arms embargo and a freeze on foreign bank accounts. Now, on the surface, the capital Conakry remains calm. But behind the scenes, the struggle for power means Guinea is mired in conflict.
Well, let's get back now to Rukmini Callimachi, who's in the capital of Guinea tonight, Conakry. Rukmini, General Dadis Camara, he said before that he's the only one that can control the military in Guinea. Now that he's gone, what's happening with the soldiers there?
Well, there's rumors of deep divisions within the military, and in fact, people that know the country well say that you can't even refer to a military in Guinea. It's essentially a collection of military strongmen, each of whom has a gang of boys under their control. And the question really is whether Moussa Dadis Camara's number 2, who's the person who's supposed to be in power right now, whether he can actually control these various factions.
Okay, Rukmini, many thanks. Now joining me in the studio, Francois Ndengwe, from the founder of the African Advisory Board. Do you think General Camara is coming back?
It seems to me that it will be very difficult. Even if he comes back, he'll be more or less disabled, meaning that practically, in my view, I'm not a doctor, I don't have his medical test, but I think he won't be able to rule again.
He escaped. His communication minister has come out today and said that he's recovering well and he will address the nation shortly. You don't think that's the case?
We're really in a situation which we don't have the transparency. The thing is that the president is in Morocco, and you had communique coming from the Moroccan military doctors. One of them was Mr. Ali Abrouk. They would try to reassure the people. But we are not in a normal situation. In a normal situation, if you look at the constitution of Guinea, Article 35 said that normally it's not to the Minister of Defense, but to the President of the National Assembly.
Because the Defense Minister, Sekouba Konate, he's officially in charge of the country for now.
That's not a normal situation. If you refer again to the Constitution, we have to follow the law. Otherwise, we won't have anything that will be appropriate and peaceful in Guinea.
Okay, Rukmini Callimachi, if I could just put it to you, Sekouba Konate is the interim leader, if you like, while Camara is not there. There's a manhunt on the way, isn't there, to find those who tried to kill Camara. How is that unfolding?
Well, it's not unfolding very well. Initially, they appeared to be arresting soldiers that had some link to Tumba, the man that's believed to have shot on the president. Now they've widened their search, and they are now targeting civilians. Last night, I was in a suburb of the capital called Koza, and I interviewed the families of 4 civilians that were picked up. At least 3 of them are not believed to have ever met Tumba. So it's unclear why they were taken. The families have no news from them. They're not able to communicate with them. Lawyers are not able to get through to them. So it's taking a bit of an ominous turn. They're targeting people that appear to have nothing to do with it.
Okay, Francois Ndengwe, does that give you great concern that these arrests and alleged arrests and beatings are taking place? Could this descend into tit-for-tat killings?
It could evolve like that. It's already evolving like that. Again, we have to stick to the rule of law, even if it's not a normal situation. And if you see that on the 29th of October already, the Peace and Security Council of the African Union took a number of measures against the committee for the National Committee for Democracy and so to speak, democracy and development. So I think again it is very, very a strange situation in which a group of people has seized power, are controlling power because they have weapons. They will try to dominate the rest of the country.
Now, elections were scheduled to take place in February. What are the hopes that might still take place?
The hope is very thin. I should say. This is the fact that we observe. And normally you have a question of the military in power in Africa in general. We have to see it and reflect on it. What is the scope? What is the meaning of government? One U.S. leader said that democracy was the government of the people, by the people, for the people. Here we have something that could be likened to the government of sort of criminals for criminals by criminals. So the people of Guinea, they don't deserve it. They have the civil society who have been trying to fight for liberty, for freedom. They need the support of the international community, starting by the African Union, who had done very well here. And we have to follow what the African Unions and all the civil society in Africa will have to help the people of Guinea to have peace.
Francois Ndengwe, many thanks indeed for joining us. Rukmini Callimachi in Conakry, thanks to you as well. And thanks to you, of course, for watching. This has been Focus. Stay tuned, more news and headlines coming right up.